Grant's season of The Bachelor has officially kicked off. We are 2 weeks in, and we know two things about him. He raps a lot, and he played basketball. So I'm going to answer the question of how much basketball. What did that journey look like for Grant, all the way from high school ball to a Bachelor group date? How did we get here? So I went all the way back to 2008, 2009. This is Grant's freshman year of high school. Now, I didn't go back any further because that just felt honestly a little bit weird. So I started with high school. Freshman year of high school, Grant played for Hackettstown High School in New Jersey, and things didn't go great. Let's be honest. They were 7-14. I'd assume Grant was on a freshman team, JV team of some kind. Not a lot of stats to be found there. But the next year is where things get interesting. The 2009-2010 season, Grant attended St. Benedict's Prep in New Jersey. Now, he didn't get a lot of playing time. Not a lot of playing time, but I would argue this was probably the most formative years for Grant, his basketball career, because while he didn't get a lot of playing time, he was playing for the number 2 team in the country, coached by none other than the winner of the last 2 NCAA Division I national championships. That's right. Dan Hurley was his coach. This is way before the Natty started to come in, way before the rings. This is gritty Dan Hurley. This is the original Dan Hurley. And now Grant was probably on the JV team at this point. Wasn't a lot of stats for the varsity lineup for him. But again, he's learning a lot. He's part of a winning culture. This is where he starts to build his skills that will pay off over the next couple of years. So Grant spent 1 year at St. Benedict's Prep that 2009-2010 season. Dan Hurley, immediately after the season, jumps ship, goes to a college job at Wagner University. Grant decides, hey, we're losing one of the best coaches in America. I'm probably going to jump ship too. He moves on to Hudson Catholic. And then this is where Grant really gets his moment to be a starter. He started for 2 years, his junior and senior seasons at Hudson Catholic. He overall averaged 6.6 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, just under 1 assist per game. Now, those stats aren't going to jump off the screen, but Grant is part of a winning program here. They went 25-3 his senior year. He's part of a winning culture. He's a contributor. Now, a few things that worried me about Grant's game at this point at the high school level: big dip in his 3-point field goal percentage from his junior year to his senior year. Senior year, he shot 23% from beyond the arc. Now, the game's changed since then. This was over a decade ago. Threes are more prevalent. We got to work in the long range shot. Grant not going to make it in the big leagues today with that. The other thing that bothered me, 63% from the free throw line. Grant, we have to control what we can control. The fundamentals from the free throw stripe, we got to be better than that. And spoiler alert, he was. He was better than that. Grant's senior year at Hudson Catholic, he made the New Jersey State Championship game, but ran into an absolute juggernaut in St. Anthony. If you know anything about St. Anthony, if you're not aware of the lore around St. Anthony, their coach there at that time during these seasons was none other than Bobby Hurley. Yes, you heard that correctly. The father of Dan Hurley, Grant's old coach from his sophomore season, was also the coach at St. Anthony at this time. Grant lost to St. Anthony in the New Jersey State Finals. The Hurley family is just rooted in Grant's history. Not only did they lose, they lost 53-30. This thing wasn't even close. And that's not the worst of it. This stings a little bit harder because the year prior, Grant's junior season, they lost to that same exact St. Anthony team in the state quarterfinals. And despite Grant's 14 points, they lost 68-35, not even close, back-to-back years, just blown out by the same team. That's demoralizing. That's not the way you want to end your high school career. But Grant had his eyes set on bigger and better things. In September of 2011, while I was studying for my 6th grade science test, Grant committed to Iona College. There's a little bit of gap here where I would need Grant's help to officially confirm. So there's 1 year between his senior season at Hudson Prep, the 2011-2012 season, and then his first stats at Iona are the 2013-2014 season. So there's 1 year gap, that 2012-2013 season. 2 options. He either redshirted at Iona, which is common, and also he could have taken a prep year, which I am not aware of. People on the East Coast, when I posted about this on TikTok, were very adamant that this is a very common thing over there. Not me, Midwest guy, haven't really heard of that. I've heard like a gap year. So it's some type of version of that happened 2012, 2013. And at Iona, Grant kind of struggled to see the court. He logged only 49 total minutes in his first season. His second season at Iona, not much better. He didn't play past December 7th. So at that point, Grant had decided to transfer. So he was a transfer redshirt. Things weren't working out. He decided to go to Southern University. And now things are starting to pile up. A lot of adversity. Things did not go well at Southern University. He never saw the court there. And by all accounts, the hoop dreams should have ended there. Or so we thought. I thought when I first did this research, I thought it was done there. Grant said, not so fast. I'm going to keep playing ball. In the 2016 spring season, Grant transferred to a D3 school called Albertus Magnus. That's right, Albertus Magnus. I'm going to say it again, Albertus Magnus. What a name. Yes, it sounds made up. Real school. Google it. This is where Grant popped off. Grant popped off this year, 2016-2017, averaged 19.1 points per game, 5 boards. And ladies and gentlemen, he was 92% from the free throw line. That was best in the league. Talk about a jump from high school where he's shooting 60%. He's a liability at the line. Now he's leading the league in free throw percentage. That's a hard worker. That's hours in the gym when no one's watching. 100 free throws after every practice. That's the type of player Grant is, and I have to tip the cap to that. Grant ended up getting his criminal justice degree at Albertus Magnus, and job wasn't finished yet. He went on to play pro ball in the Dominican Republic for 2 separate teams, Hurricanes del Atlantico and Indios de San Francisco, and things didn't go great. I'll be honest. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Never scored more than 1.5 points per game in a season, but he still played pro ball, guys. So when you're seeing Grant hoop on these group dates, schooling these women, teaching them to shoot, he's got the background. Okay, not everyone can make it to the league. We're not going to have NBA players be the next Bachelor, but he has the basketball background. He knows what he's doing. This has been a part of his life. So enough with the jokes. The dude can hoop. So by all accounts, in the opinion of this podcaster right here, Grant is a certified hooper. Thank you for watching this little mini episode of Batchmakers. And tune in every week for our recap episodes. Join our Patreon page if you enjoy all our stuff here at Good Time. It really helps. It's a cup of coffee, $5 to join our Batchmakers tier. Love you guys. See you guys soon enough. Thanks for watching this episode of Batchmakers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page, linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the Batchmakers, we shave Wyatt's head off.
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
By tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.